Hello, my friends, and welcome back to another episode of Erudite Magic. In this week's episode, we're going to be covering the brand new Allan Ackerman books that came out by Vanishing Inc. called All In. Now, it's important for you to know right up front that I work for Vanishing Inc., and so while I try to remain unbiased, I just want you to be aware that I do work for them. I think if you stick with me, you'll find that I'm going to try to be extremely factual about these books, point out some things that you might like, some things that you might not like so much, and overall just help you make an informed decision about whether or not you need these books in your life. Oh, and stick around to the end of the video because at the end, I'm going to share a little secret that's buried within this book that might be easy for you to overlook. If, like me, you were slightly unfamiliar with the name Allan Ackerman, then let me try to give you a brief introduction. Allan studied card magic under the tutelage of Ed Marlowe for a number of years, and over time he's become one of the most respected card men out there. He's published many books on the subject of card magic, several of them during the 70s, and most recently, but really not recently at all, Las Vegas Cardma back in 1993. So it's been basically 30 years since he last put anything into print in a book format, although he has been busy, and he's now sharing with us his collective thoughts over a lifetime of card magic in this beautiful 2-volume set. Outside of his interest in magic, Allan was a teacher. He taught mathematics at UNLV there in Las Vegas where he lives, and according to his Wikipedia biography, he just retired from teaching at the College of Southern Nevada. Regardless of his background, the question that you and I share is, what's in these books and is it any good? So let's get into that. But before we do, let me tell you about the sponsor of this week's episode, Don's Magic and Books. Don has been a great buddy of mine for a number of years, and one of the reasons for that is that he focuses on magic books. And I love that because it pairs so well with this channel. We focus almost exclusively on magic books here, or things related to magic in the printed word. So next time you want to add a book or two, or maybe even 5 to your magic library, be sure to check out Don's website at donsmagicandbooks.com. There you'll find great deals on not only the latest and greatest that's come out, but also some books that are a little bit harder to find and potentially out of print. Don specializes in these kind of books, and if you visit his website, you'll see that he routinely gets in new titles, so you'll want to check back frequently so that you don't miss anything that's on your wish list. He offers fast and free shipping if you qualify for certain thresholds in the United States, so don't hesitate as you look forward to adding to your magic library to shop with Don's Magic and Books. This set of books that Allan Ackerman published is a 2-volume set, and these are some absolutely gorgeous linen-bound hardback books. It's hard to describe, but the finish on these, this cloth binding, this linen finish, is really smooth to the touch. They feel really good in your hands and just look absolutely stunning. Both volumes are sold as a single set, so you don't have to worry about getting volume 1 or volume 2. The whole thing is just packaged together in an attractive red slipcase. While Allan has been busy creating, perfecting, and performing the magic, he had a little bit of help in writing the books with John Lovick. Unless you're brand new to magic books, you'll recognize that name as someone who comes up frequently here on Erudite Magic. John is certainly no stranger to writing books, and I think that it shows in this set that everything is really well written and described, but we'll come to more about that in a second. Since you get both books together, I'm not going to spend a lot of time differentiating between the 2 volumes, but really I couldn't tell a huge difference in the content of each. You have what he calls sleights, techniques, and concepts at the beginning of each book, where he's teaching you over 50 different techniques or concepts that are variations or something new that he's come up with. I'll tell you right here that I liked the way he did this with certain concepts. Some of them were modular and they were written up together. So if you learn one type of sleight, he gives you a lot of different ways to apply that. For example, the section on his HP maneuver. And whether or not he has a variation on a particular sleight, as you learn the tricks, you'll definitely be taught everything you need to know to do this trick. Which brings me to the tricks themselves, which is a separate section in each book. And when I look at these tricks, I'll state overall as a blanket statement, these are so diverse. I really didn't know what to expect when I picked up these books, not having spent a lot of time in his previous book, Las Vegas Cardma, and not being all that familiar with his work. I was impressed with the very diverse background and sources from which he culled his material. As you flip through the book, you're going to see a lot of names that inspired him or that he partnered with to create new tricks or variations on a theme. And not only does he cull from from different sources that makes it interesting and different, so you're not always reading one particular type of magic. He also is clearly well read with detailed backgrounds about the history behind certain moves or the first time this trick showed up, and those are well detailed in the footnotes. Most of the time, he opens up each trick with a discussion about how this came about. Maybe somebody showed him a trick, and then he went back home and worked on the thought process of what he liked or didn't like about it, and how he came up with his variation. He's very fastidious and obviously gives credit to everyone who deserves it. Whether or not there's a backstory that he shares with you, he gives you the effect as it is seen from your audience's point of view, the method with any kind of setup that you might have to have there, and then the performance where he walks you through a very detailed explanation of how to do whatever it takes to get the trick done. As I mentioned before, John Lovick did help him write up these descriptions, and you'll have no trouble learning from the text that's there. The text is supported with photographs of Allan's hands performing certain sleights or counts or displays, and there are enough pictures to help you where appropriate. I've had a complaint about other books where I feel like the pictures are just too much and it becomes overwhelming. This book felt like about the right amount to me. As you'll see as I share some of the book by flipping through it, not every page has a picture on it, and you don't have any pages that are taken up with one giant half-page photo. It's succinct, but generous enough that if there's any question, you'll be able to learn the routine. And while I mentioned there are a variety of different types of tricks, you have packet tricks and cannibal cards and McDonald's aces without the gimmick cards, there's kind of something for everyone, whether you are a sit-down at a table style performer, or you like to do stand-up work or packet tricks. This is such a huge collection that it's hard to think you wouldn't be able to find something that you would enjoy or learn from, or at least get you stimulated thinking about other ideas. I know when I was reading at the very beginning about his different counts to display cards and not show the backs of an odd-colored card, it was giving me plenty of ideas about how I might apply that to some routines that I've worked on in the past. I know most of us are concerned with the difficulty level as well. There is something for everyone in here. I don't think that any of this is truly knuckle-busting. Obviously, Allan is very familiar and comfortable with sleight of hand. He studied under Marlowe. He knows a lot of moves. He's written them up with exquisite detail here. But I don't think that he expects you to be able to perform everything to the same level that he does. And even though I wouldn't consider myself an advanced card handler, I didn't read a lot of things that would give me pause. Certainly, there will be tricks that are easy enough to do, and there are some things that will take a little more work to get them down perfectly. If you're worried about the level of sleight of hand, let me give you a little anecdote to put you at ease from book 1. If you go to page 35, he talks about one of the easiest and most deceptive culls that he ever learned. He saw it from Brother John Hammond and played around with it and is sharing it here with you about how you can learn this cull and it will serve you well in a variety of circumstances. So the fact that he's describing something as being easy and deceptive just gives you an idea of how you can approach this, and he's definitely not just looking for knuckle busters to share with you in here. I'll add that there is an additional section on his own thoughts and theory about Memdeck work. He shares with you his stack and why he prefers the types of stacks that he does. He provides some encouragement to get you into stack work, which I think is always a great idea. So whether you're interested in stack work or not, I think you'll find something interesting to read there. And if you do decide to pursue stack work, he'll give you some food for thought about which stack you might choose. So what are some things that maybe I didn't like? Truthfully, I didn't find a lot not to like. I love bigger collections of books where you have a lot of options, and this certainly gives that to you in spades. No problem to find something that you're going to like or something to play around with a double set this large. The main drawback is really the price. You are getting 2 books, over 400 pages of magic. There are around 90 tricks, I believe right around 87 routines, 50 different sleights and concepts, as I've already mentioned a few. His thinking on the memorized deck. But you can't purchase these volumes individually, so you have to decide whether you're willing to part with $100 all at once. I do think it offers substantial value for the money. When I look at these books, I think they easily could sell in today's market for $50 each. And if you're not already familiar with Allan Ackerman's work, I think that you'll be pleasantly surprised to find things that pique your interest, as well as give you some history on where this trick or move came from and how he's changed it for what he believes to be the better. There is a deluxe edition that was limited to a certain number of copies. The deluxe editions are black instead of the red and green covers here, and they were signed by Allan Ackerman. Otherwise, the content is the same, and I believe at the time of this video, they are already sold out. These are some gorgeous, well-written, and well-thought-out books, so whatever kind of card magic you're into, I think you'll be able to find something you like in these books. Please sound off down below if you've found value in these books already, and let's get a conversation going about Allan Ackerman's work. Oh yeah, and just in case you don't always read your books thoroughly, check out page 50 of his book. You might just be surprised to find out that you have a free ebook available to you within this book if you read that page. I'll leave it at that. But as always, thank you for watching, and until next time, keep reading.